What's up, guys? A short update in price of Bitcoin, but I would say that there's not so much to cover today. Although let's do that anyways. We have this area of this zone of resistance around $93,000, and we had another test of that, and the price is getting to test to try it again. Well, almost there, and we have a consecutive sequence of lows, higher lows. It's already five of them. Of course, it's really tempting to break one of them, at least one of them, and maybe just collect some liquidity and only after that going to the upside. But yet it is not necessary. The old textbook story is that we have the ascending triangle, and although it is after the decline, right, because it's kind of set up for a bearish pennant or the bearish flag, but although it's you can think about it as the very often the scenario which happens very often. But on the other hand, if it doesn't break, if it's not broken to the downside, right, if this support holds, then again that is the triangle, right? Triangle, bullish ascending triangle, which could lead us to somewhat around $105,000. But I would say that by Bolkovsky, it's 70% around, so it's 100K, right? So I'm pretty positive about that. I think we have all chances to go higher. Same situation with Ether, still kind of consolidating after exiting this wedge to the downside. In fact, if you think about Ether and many other coins which experienced similar thing sometime before, let's see, where was that? It was somewhat here, but probably Ether is probably not the best altcoin to show, to kind of illustrate that. So maybe, but in any case, that was another wedge, like a descending wedge here for Tron, for maybe, well, actually I was thinking there's much more to like examples of that, but currently maybe that's because just the weekly time frame is hard to see. But there was several situations like that before in the history, and that kind of wedge was the precursor for the growth. Like Bitcoin, of course, it was like cleaner. Maybe let's do the daily time frame so you can see it. You can see what I mean. So something, well, not only this one, not only the major one, but the one which was before, like this one, right? And I believe Ether actually showed similar things. So it's summer 21st, and we had a like significant rise after that. And I think many altcoins actually did show the same thing. So let me go to the summer 21st. And yeah, that's probably the same thing which I was looking at before. So this one, right? So it's kind of descending wedge, and then we have the massive rise after that. So many altcoins showing the same thing, and I'm just saying that currently Ether has this wedge here, right? Again, maybe on the daily time frame, it's better to like easier to see, right? So we have the exit from that. It's a little delayed, it's like consolidating, but still it's also an ascending triangle, which normally the signature for this growth setup. So I think it's pretty good. And also we have the equities going up, making new all-time highs every day, well, like every other day. So Bitcoin just waiting. So it's just accumulating some inertia, like energy before the growth, right? And that's probably what happened within the next month or two. There was a long period of going back and forth, like up and down within the wide range. But the idea is that if we are in this long consolidation period, then the new growth would be potentially also very similar. Although now it's very boring. I mean, very similar to the previous one, but with this like a same kind of consolidation. Here we had like 8-9 months consolidation with relatively narrow range, and now if you consider this to be a long-term and pretty wide consolidation, then you can think of much, much bigger growth. So here we had like 2x. 2x from here, it's 180, or like depending from where you, like middle area, maybe 100K, so maybe $200,000 for the end of that growth from here, but maybe more because it's actually longer and deeper. The range for the constellation is wider, right? So maybe 250, 300K by the end of 2026, and with corresponding growth in many huge altcoins, not necessarily the small ones, because shitcoins is the different thing. A lot of them are just pump and dumps, and they just don't have traction. Those without ETFs or potential ETFs in the future, or like the high chance of the ETF in the future, they don't have as much traction. They don't have as much chances to go higher as the same as like last year, like last phases of growth, last cycles. Therefore, I wouldn't bet on them, but Bitcoin, Ether, huge altcoins, they are in a pretty good position at the moment. So I remain positive, and I hope you guys are positive too. I'll keep you updated. Hopefully, next time we'll see a nice green candle right there, and that would be a relief and a good new start of 2026. That's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you next video. Leave me a comment or question, whatever, like Twitter, Telegram. I started to post on Twitter more frequently, by the way, or just comment here. That's it for today. See you next video. Goodbye.